Hello and welcome to the Tuesday Tidbit. This Tuesday Tidbit is renting versus buying. What are the advantages of each? So it may seem like somebody in the mortgage industry would be only in favor of buying. And honestly, that's not the case. Okay. I know that buying is not for everybody. In fact, about 35% of the American population rents at any given time. And not only that, but it's honestly kind of necessary because if you're a homeowner and you decide to rent out your property, who you're going to rent your property out to if there are no renters, right? So renters are actually really, really good. Now, there are certainly some advantages to renting. First of all, I love renting if you are trying to get acquainted with a new area. If you're moving to a new state and you're uprooting your family, renting for a year while you kind of figure out the lay of the land and figure out what neighborhood you might be interested in is not a bad idea. Buying a house can be rather expensive. You want to make sure that the area you're settling in is going to be kind of a longer term stay. I also like folks to rent if they are not going to be living in an area for a long period of time. When you sell real estate, you're going to be incurring some costs. The one way to manage that is to just rent instead of buying, right? You don't necessarily have to buy every single time. Another reason folks might rent is lower maintenance, right? You simply get to call your landlord, management company, whoever, if something breaks in the property. That is not the case when you own the property, as all of us homeowners know. You have to take care of it yourself or hire somebody to take care of it for you. And then another advantage of renting is simply cash flow. Not wealth creation, certainly not wealth creation, but from a simple cash flow perspective, in-go versus out-go each month, renting is typically going to be cheaper than buying. Okay. Now, the advantages to buying are, in my opinion, far greater. So, number one, it is the single biggest source of wealth for the American population is the equity they have in their real estate. Okay, so that's a huge advantage. You get to pay yourself something each month. If rates are higher, maybe it's not as much as you'd like, but at least you get to pay yourself something each month when you pay down your mortgage balance. Also, when you are, establishing roots, it's easier to establish roots when it is your house. When you are the owner of that property, you could stay there indefinitely, right? With a tenant landlord relationship, that's not always the case. You're oftentimes at the mercy of your landlord. A little bit also more stability, not just stability in where you're living, but also stability in your costs. When you're renting a property, if rents start to balloon, you don't really have a lot of say in that, right? Your only recourse is to kind of move away. Not the case when you own a house. Yes, your taxes and your insurance will increase over time, but that tends to be a little bit slower than the increasing costs of rent. So advantages to either. Warren Buffett said, invest in what you know. I know real estate. I invest in real estate. I love real estate, but I certainly know it's not for everybody. Beautiful. Thank you so much. I'll see you next one. Bye.